Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. And you can see already, I'm doing a reaction or response to the reaction to a reactor. And the reactor is Tyrone Magnus, and Kryptonite Korner is saying why Tyrone Magnus is wrong. You've already seen the title. Um, and I'm just doing a response. I'm not doing this to be super difficult or anything like that. So I hope that this is understood. But before we do that, let's go to Tyrone Magnus. Now there was several days ago, 4 or 5 days ago approximately, he came out with a poll. And then he did a video and said Superman tickets are not selling. So we're going to go over and look at this real quick. This is the poll. Um, have you purchased tickets yet? You can't see the number on the side, but it is 16 to 84%. And 16% amounts to 27,000 and some number of tickets out of 17,000 even. So we're going to say close to about 3,000. And then 14,000 have not yet bought tickets. I will say that there's not more lines, so he could have said, have you bought tickets yet? And then a third line could have been, no, but I plan to buy tickets. And that could have been a percentage off of this no that would have been considered a yes. Okay, so there's the thing. This yet 4 days ago, 5 days ago, because I think it's actually the 22nd. That's what he's saying. That's the thing. And he took this because Grace Randolph did a poll as well. And she did her poll. And I'm going to come right up to here. Oh, come on. It's in here. Hmm. It should be right near that. Maybe it doesn't show on this. Oh, there it is. Superman tickets are not selling. See that? So that's interesting, and it's an interesting video. You can go watch the video. But I'm going to do something here where, because Kryptonite Corner says he's wrong, and then he says he's lying. Well, lies is on the thumbnail of this video here. So let me say it right. Yeah, lies is put there on the thumbnail. I forget what all he says as far as lies. So we'll see. Um, but anyway, um, I respect Kryptonite Corner. He's doing well. He's getting a lot of subscribers and getting a lot of views, I believe. He does have a lot more shorts than he does actual videos. I say actual videos, just means longer form videos. The shorts are obviously a minute or so long, maybe 30 seconds. Could be parts of his video. I don't know. I just haven't looked at his shorts yet, and will do so in the coming days. But I do watch him, and I do respect what he's saying. And I did another reaction on some of what he said. But I do have some criticisms about him. And again, Grace Randolph did her poll, and it was a similar percentage. Okay. And I haven't been paying attention to Grace Randolph's channel, so I don't know if she's um, highly anticipated, if she's being critical, or what. I just haven't been paying attention. In fact, I'll probably go and check that out a little bit later because it has nothing to do with it, whether or not this is correct. Is Tyrone Magnus wrong? Let's see. What does he have to say? He starts right into it. If you watch Kryptonite Corner, maybe give it a second for everybody to catch it into it, because it is some of the times the very beginning of his video is cut out by a blip of a second, and still doing good though.
Tyrone is wrong, guys. Tyrone Magnus is absolutely wrong. I'm starting to get a little bit fired up. I like Tyrone Magnus, okay? Don't think I'm knocking Tyrone Magnus as a whole, but it's
I do have this on 1.25 speed, so if he sounds a little odd to you, that's probably why. Because just I didn't want to make it too fast, but I also didn't want to leave it at the slow rate because we want to try to get written through the video as best we can.
Superman stuff, it's starting to get a little on my nerves. Like, it seems like he's finding ways to make sure that it seems like it's doing bad for people. He did a video just a little bit ago for me. I mean, I'm going to get this out later, but just a little bit ago that says Superman tickets are not selling. And it's a picture of him with one of his polls where it says people have bought about, his polling his audience, about 15% of his audience have bought tickets, pre sales for Superman. First of all, 15% is not a bad number. Of his audience, 15% is not a bad number who have actually purchased pre sale tickets. Why is that not a bad number? Well, because usually when you poll your audience, okay, well, now I'm getting crazy. Let me bring it down. I'm getting a little bit too crazy. 15% is not a bad number because most people don't go and see a movie the day it comes out. If they did, what would happen is movies would make like let's say it makes, I don't know, $1 billion. A movie makes $1 billion. It gets 700 million in the opening weekend, and then it would just trickle out a little bit the rest of the way. We all know that's not how it works. We know that's not how it works. The majority of people are not going to see the movie the day it comes out.
I agree somewhat on that. I'm not going to debate that too much, but there are differences. So, an example, and because they talk about this kind of stuff all the time, is weekend drop off, second week drop off, and stuff like that. The percentage drop off weekend to weekend. I think Avatar is an example of this. Aquaman, the first Aquaman uh, in the DCEU, was an example of this. It didn't have a very high opening weekend. It had a okay opening weekend, but it wasn't super high. Neither one of them made $100 million. I don't believe, if I'm correct. Even I'm sorry, Avatar nor um, and Aquaman did that. Both of them, Avatar more than Aquaman, made over $1 billion though. Okay, so Aquaman is an example of they didn't make as much or so much that first weekend, but it did keep making money. Okay, it kept making money, and then made it over $1 billion. Uh, Avatar didn't make as much on opening, and then it was promoted, word of mouth, and all that. This is the way I hear it anyway. I didn't go and see it in the theaters that I recall. I did go watch The Way of Water in the theaters, but I didn't watch. I don't remember watching the first one in the theaters. And it made its money over the long haul, longer course. Uh, and I wouldn't debate which one is which though. Whereas Star Wars, The Force Awakens, in each of those, um, uh, the newer movies, had huge opening weekends. Huge. Um, Other movies, breaking records opening weekend, and then over $1 billion later, or fizzled off to where they didn't make $1 billion and was on track to do so. It just by opening weekend, standards. So sometimes the majority are going to see opening weekend. Sometimes, and it may fall right off terribly, or fizzles downward. Um, it just depends on the movie, and that's where we'd have to look at a lot of different numbers. And I would say there's not a most of the time kind of thing, except for maybe in the blockbuster realm because we talk about it so much and we see this so much, and everybody's looking at all these records. They don't necessarily look at the bottom line at the end of the road. It made over $1 billion because and it had such a great opening. It was a hugely successful movie. The vast majority of the time, it has a pretty big opening weekend, and then you know maintains some good sales. Okay, it goes a little bit up and down, so it's definitely a drop off. Usually, I'd have to be shown where a second weekend actually made more than the first weekend in recent years, the last 30 years, say. And you could show that to me if you like. Uh, just tell me in the comments what it was. I'll go look it up and try to see. Um, but I see what he's saying, but it's not low opening weekend, escalate. You know, it doesn't do that. And low opening weekend and just stay as a plateau. It usually just goes up and down. And if you can stay at a higher number and a low drop percentage for a long time in the run, then you make more in the long run. Preferably, that's the way it works. Preferably, that's the way it's done, I should say. But I don't want to go and look at anything for opening weekend stuff. Just that was my examples of the two that I remember for kind of a low opening weekend, and then eventually made over $1 billion. And that's to be commended um, for such a success. So maintain that. But this is not coming from, oh, is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? Or are you all going to buy it later? This comes from the promotion of the idea, the statements made by DC and DC fandom, the gun fandom, James Gunn's promoters, whatever you want to call it. If um, he's going to talk about Snyder verse bros and stuff like that. I think just briefly and not as negative as some other people do. But those of you who want to be negative about it, there's a gun verse cult just as much and even more than a Snyderverse cult. So don't try to come back at me with any of that. That's just nonsense, and that's not neither here nor there at the moment. Um, but Kryptonite Korner, this is coming from, uh, and I don't know your name, so I'm just saying your screen name. Uh, but and I respect you and appreciate you, and I watch your videos. But this is coming from news that says Fandango is sold out everywhere, and people can't buy their tickets and things like that. That's what we're gonna more approach later in this. But that's where Tyrone Magnus is coming from. He's saying we're hearing these reports that Fandango has crashed because nobody can get a ticket and they're waiting hours and hours and hours to finally get their ticket. And then when they get there, the theaters are all sold out everywhere. That's the statement. That's what's going on. That's where this is coming from. It's not whether or not it could make a lot in the long term or whether most people go and watch in the first weekend. I will say this: I saw a report that said there's, and I think it was Kryptonite Corner that I was reading it off of. And so, yeah, go check out that video as well. The ticket sales for Superman is $10 million. Well, $10 million in ticket sales, they're claiming as a record. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Um, but we're gonna look and see where these tickets are being sold or if they're selling out. The big one for me is people saying, my theater's completely sold out. Really? Okay. Let's see. And that's where Tyrone Magnus goes in and says, are the tickets sold out? He has bought tickets. You know this. Um, if you watch Tyrone Magnus, you know he said, I bought my tickets. I have bought my tickets. I have bought two tickets. He bought two tickets. Mr. Kryptonite Corner says that he has tickets for, or he has at least a ticket for July 8th and July 11th. Now, I would assume he has more than one ticket, because I assume that he's married, and if he has children, he possibly bought tickets for all of them. So that's great. Go and watch it as many times as you want to. And I may watch it 5 or 6 times in the theater. I don't know. And I'm not looking forward to it with as eager anticipation as you are, or as a lot of gun fans are. Gun fans, okay? Um, and this is not the place to talk about any other critics or non critics or people promoting the movie with some false information, I should say. And that's the best I can say it right now. Um, but I do believe there's some false information out there. Now, right now he's saying Tyrone Magnus is wrong about tickets, Superman tickets not selling. So he's saying that's false information, what Tyrone Magnus presented in his video. So let's watch. We'll stay on this.
And here's a little kicker. Superman has not just the July 11th, where it's going to come out on July 11th and people are buying ticket sales for that date. It's got July 8th and people are buying tickets for that date. All the July 11th people, once July 8th was available, they went, oh, I can get earlier. I'm doing it. So that kind of split that up a little bit. And then whenever we finally get to July 11th, all the information on what
I'm going to add this. It actually comes out on July 10th. There may be a few theaters in the country that are putting it out like at midnight, July 10th. 1 minute after midnight or something like that because it's on the 10th. But, and that would be, early morning idea. But definitely, because I've checked it out, there's a number of showings going on the 10th, not just one or two like a lot of things are. I've looked up the pre-sales for several different places for July 10th, and so we'll go and look at that information here in just a little bit. But let's go with this right now and listen to what he's saying. So yeah, beyond the 11th, the 10th is the opening day, before the opening day, the pre-opening day. So that's another story also as far as how it came to that. But anyway, let's go with this.
whether or not the movie's good or bad is going to come out, and that means people are going to come in droves. And again, it's not going to be that the opening weekend is going to be the majority of the budget for the movie. That's not how it works. So when he says 15%, first of all, like it's a bad number, that's a great number, especially when you think about the fact that he doesn't like the prospect of this new Superman movie. Not that I'm saying he doesn't want a new Superman movie. That's not what he said. But what he has said is he just thinks it looks like, mid. At first he was saying bad to mid. Now he's saying mid to good, I think, if I remember correctly. He may have, I don't watch all of his videos. He may have changed that somewhere. But
yeah, he has changed a little bit because other things have come out and stuff like that. He doesn't have high expectations for it. Tyrone Magnus, I'm talking about, and that's all. That's his opinion. But I wouldn't say that he wasn't hoping it would be good. He's still hoping it will be good. His last video was saying that he hopes he comes in and says, "It's great, you have to go see it." I think he imitates Arnold Schwarzenegger when he does that, and then he imitates Stone Cold Steve Austin to say this is a really terrible movie. So speaking of which, I don't agree with Tyrone Magnus everything he says, but a lot of what he says is influential to me, I would say. At least, for instance, the 28 Years Later movie that just came out. I haven't gone to see it yet because he did not enjoy it. So I haven't gone out of my way to go see it. However, I did go. I thought it might be the movie that was showing, but I watched a mystery movie. I'm not going to talk about that one, um, but it wasn't that. It was okay. So it was good, I should say, and I'll talk about it possibly some other time. But I also went to see F1 and watched Megan 2.0, and both of them turned out to be, in my opinion, good, enjoyable, able to be watched. That thing, F1's really good in a lot of senses, and has some shortcomings, if you will. And then Megan 2.0 is what it is, and there's some fun to it. It's anyway, but I'm not here to review all this stuff. I'm just saying they're all right. And I watched Megan after watching F1 and thought it was not going to hold up because I had just seen F1 really good. It sort of does hold up though to where you can still enjoy it for what it is. Again, not perfect, has its flaws and all that, but they're all right. So if you were interested, but I may go see 28 Days Later or years later. I was intending to watch the first two again to kind of prepare for it. So regardless of all that, we're trying to talk about this right here and Superman movie, and we want to get through this. So let's go.
It's really like dumb to say that it's bad for 15% of an audience that is being trained to hate the new Superman movie has their tickets to go see it. That's crazy to me. And I mean, I can't even follow the mentality, to be honest. I'm
Okay, I hope I said this right. But Tyrone Magnus is at least the second time doing this video. So I may have forgotten this, but Tyrone Magnus did the poll that we showed, right? And then did his video, Tickets Are Not Selling, based on his 15% poll, plus some other things he says. So you should watch his video as well. But that was because Grace Randolph had come out with a poll that was around that or less of the audience that answered the poll had bought their tickets at that time. So, and and again, I say this is based on the news reports that so many people are going to buy the tickets. There's the tickets are sold out. The theaters are full and stuff like that. That's and I may be exaggerating that. I don't think so because that's the report I see. Crashing websites and all that. I have not watched Grace Randolph's videos. I don't know whether she's positive or negative about the movie. But I do take a little bit issue with him saying you're trained to hate. You could maybe say it's trained to hate something, but he's hating mostly on the outfit, and then he has commented negatively on the some different promotions of the way things look or the way things sound, and and I'm inclined toward agreeing with Tyrone Magnus in those things he says. I dislike the suit for a couple of reasons, and not getting into that here. And I dislike a number of choices that were made for the movie. And but I'm still going to see it and give it its fair shot. Uh, he probably watches Aaron Fisher as well occasionally, maybe not. But Aaron Fisher, my review, um, is very negative on a lot of the decisions, but it still says he's going to give an honest review after he sees the movie. He's going to see it, he said, on July 10th as well. I think it was. I don't believe he got the July 8th tickets. So, and those are in particular places. So we're going to try to look up a few places that they might be and see what we can see about the July 8th opening and then the others. But I wouldn't say I don't agree really that the audience is being trained to hate the movie. They're just giving their honest opinion about what is being presented. And if you really listen to them, you either say, "Yeah," or "I think you're exaggerating some." Is about the best I could do on any of these that I've mentioned that are negative. Again, I don't know what Grace Randolph has done. I'll probably try to look up her videos too because I enjoy watching these, pre things and trying to get a speculation about it. So let's keep going. But I don't think that his audience is hating uh, on on it. Okay.
having trouble how he got from there, 15% saying they bought their tickets, they're good to go, the pre-sale tickets that is, to having a title that says Superman tickets are not selling. 15% of your audience, a lot of which doesn't like the movie just like you. I look at the comments, your majority over there, they hate it.
Let me add this too, and I kind of disagree with that. I think there's more of a mixture, and and he does delete comments, So Magnus does, because he's not going to fight with people, and they don't have any right to fight with him. So he'll delete and block people if they are going too far with their comments. And so that's the way it is. You have to check with Tyrone Magnus to see how much of that is true, and therefore what his audience is saying, whether or not it's split. But if you go back to some earlier videos, and I encourage it, Tyrone Magnus's videos, he said, as far as the suit was concerned, the audience, as he was looking at it, was split 50-50. About 50% were okay with it, 50% not. And I read the some of the comments. I'm not going to be as in depth into them as Tyrone may do, but I read some of them, and I'm shocked that there are a lot. There are a lot that have some support, or at least are planning to go see the movie for the new Superman movie. A lot of support for it in that crowd. People can disagree with the people they watch. Okay, that's just the fact. Okay, so it is the way it is, uh, and we'll see. But I think that he's taking off in a direction here that's not sustainable when really thought through and really checked out, and that to me is where Kryptonite Corner is possibly getting into perilous territory as far as having a correct view on this issue.
15% of those people that bought the tickets, probably because there's 15% of your people actually like Superman and don't like what you're saying about this particular movie. Now, he's a movie guy. I'm not a movie guy. I don't rate every movie out there. I just talk about Superman stuff. So that's a little bit different for us. But let me talk about something else here.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and
Sorry about that. Let's get that out of the way.
Okay. He had he had his own poll, but I have my own poll. And my own poll says that 27% of my audience already got their ticket.
All right, so there you go. Were you able to get a ticket to see the early screening on June 8th? Now, that's a specific statement. All right, I got my ticket. My theater was sold out. I don't have Prime. I will just wait, and then wallets closed. 27% said of your audience, Kryptonite Corner, say I got my ticket. 51%. Let's just cut that down, okay? There's about 2,000 votes, and that agrees close to the subscriber number, so it's a good amount of engagement. All right. So half, say 1,000 people that's in your audience don't have Prime, so you couldn't do this. Need another poll out there. You're going to go see it on the 10th or the 11th, the opening weekend. Do you have your tickets already? That would be a good thing, because that's what Tyrone Magnus was saying. He wasn't saying whether or not it was the 8th or the 10th. Have you pre-bought your tickets? Because Fandango is claiming that the websites are down and all the tickets are selling out and all the theaters are selling out. Fandango is claiming that, or DC is claiming that, or the Rap is claiming it, or certain fans are claiming that. Whatever the case really is, that's what's brought about this question. How many of you have gone to get these tickets? But anyway, my theater was sold out, 9%. So is that 90 people? 14% of your audience, Mr. Kryptonite Corner, are saying wallets closed, and they're not going to buy tickets. That's pretty interesting to me that number is that high, because that's in the 15%, 16% range of Tyrone Magnus's. So if you had 200,000 subscribers, assuming they all voted like the majority voted in this one, then you would have 14% still saying wallets closed. That's a huge thing. I'm not for wallets closed. I mean, I'm for people voicing their opinion in any way they want to. If that's the way they want to do it, wallets hashtag wallets closed, go ahead. I'm not promoting the hashtag. I'm not putting it out there. May link it to this just because we talk about it, but I'm not saying that you ought to do that. But if somebody else convinces you that's promoting hashtag wallets closed to boycott the movie, then by all means that's your right to do something like that, and say anybody else can do whatever they want to do. As long as you're okay with other people doing what they want to do and not shouting them down. Um, so and I understand there's a banter between people as well that's I think is acceptable. There's some things that go too far. There's some people that are just mean or illogical. But there's some just banter that's just like some fun banter. And, you know, figure out where your line is, you know what I mean? But anyway, 27%, that's good. That's, um, and let's just say we eliminate this 51%, right? Uh, that means we've got here to say 14, 30, 41, 50. So yeah, about 50% are these three categories. So about half of the 1,000 or 500 people have gotten tickets, and 90 said we can't get tickets because they're sold out at your theater. And I would like to know what theater that is because I'd like to see it. You know, but it's June 8th. According to um, Fandango and others, they've sold out everything for June 8th. It all sold out very quickly and broke records. Very well. But I would like to see another poll. If you haven't done one yet, I'll go and check after this to see if you have another poll up. But I'd like to see another poll for just pre-bought tickets and see what your audience says there.
For June 8th. Now, let me rephrase that and make that just a little bit more clear because we're doing two different polls, even though it sounds exactly the same. His poll, see if I can read this.
Okay,
it says, have you purchased your Superman tickets yet? 15% has done it yet, okay? That means that there's more out there that might do it. And I'll talk about that in a second too, how humans actually are. 27% of mine 12 days ago said that they already got their ticket. And now he's polling 10,000 people. I have 1.9 thousand votes, but he's got 2 million subscribers. I only have 1.9 thousand subscribers. So, do the math on that. I have a lot more people participating percentage-wise, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. But I also don't have as big of a pool as he does. Now, why is it important?
And just to be fair, the statistics pretty much are going to hold there because it started at 10,000 people and about 15%. And when I saw it and voted, it was 12,000, 16%. And now there's 17,000 and still at 16%. So if he got 40,000 more people voting, they probably are going to hold at approximately that area. Now, unless people have chosen to go and purchase tickets since then, in the last 5 days. That's possible because we're now a few weeks, few weeks away, 2 weeks away, right? Which is great. It's, a lot of this debate and arguing and speculation and all that stuff is going to disappear in a couple of weeks.
That his has 15% and mine has 27%. Well, because first of all, his is new of a polling audience of people, 23 hours ago it said, of a people that probably aren't as into it because they're liking watching him for this particular thing. Mine is 27% 12 days ago, like right after you could buy them early, polling people. I might do another one just to see kind of where people are at, have people continue to buy. Now, let me talk about human nature. Like I said a second ago, if you go to anything, early pre-sales, whatever, that's not usually the majority of the budget for that thing. That's not, like I got Comic-Con tickets I went to a while back, and a lot of people were there early. A lot of us were. A lot of us were waiting in the lines hours before it started to make sure we got in and got to do what we wanted to do. But the majority of people, I can't remember what it is, like 60,000 or something maybe attended. Those people were not there early, and it's the same way with movies. Avengers Endgame had somewhere around a $250 million pre-sale, but then they made 2.7 billion. Okay, that's around.
That's a huge number of pre-sales. If because like I said, the report that's out is like 10 million pre-sales for Superman so far. And for the Batman, it was up around 12.5 million or maybe a little more toward the end of it. And then whatever it made, you know, but pre-sales. But also Tyrone Magnus mentions that in his video, and you go watch him to see what he says exactly. But he says there was a time when you had to buy your tickets early in order to reserve your seat, because if you got there on the day, they were all sold out, or you were sitting on the front row looking straight up at the screen, to, wrong angle, um, or you were sitting at the far back left, right corners, or something like that, and you couldn't see the screen very well, and you were, never mind whatever else. But these days, it's just not so, and he's mentioned that several times in his videos. It's just a difference in the way things were sold back then to where they're sold now. Well, not sold, but the way the excitement for one of these types of movies, comic book movies, Marvel in its heyday, if you will. Now you can go, and they're not half sold out. Okay, so you have plenty of tickets. You can go see um, any of these movies that are coming out. Um, so, yeah, the most filled theaters I've been to in recent, at least months, has been the Monday night movie mystery movies, because they'll show a movie that's not out yet, and everybody's hoping for the best one, hoping for something great. And they'll rarely get that. They're usually showing something that they might have, on opening day, the next couple of days later. And you get the tickets a little bit less expensive, quite a bit actually. And then they're hoping everybody buys popcorn and drinks, which they do. They make a fortune off these things. Um, but that's been the most filled. This last Monday, there was some seats along the very front, so looking straight up at it, and there was two or three throughout the theater. I just picked one randomly in the theater um, that was between other people. Now, some people don't show up for those. Okay, they see it, they walk in, they see everybody there, and they decide they're not going to watch it or whatever reason it is. So they don't do it, but they still bought the ticket, and they're out a few dollars. That's the way I look at it anyway. Or maybe they buy that ticket and they decide to go see some other movie that, you know what I mean. People sneaking into something that would have cost them a lot more. But nevertheless, those have been pretty close to sold out uh, in my theater. So let's keep going.
357 million. Yeah, that's around, I think, 15% or something like that of their entire budget was pre-sales. Okay, let's not forget, we're still in pre-sale range. We're not yet at the point where it's like the movie's coming out tomorrow. We're not even in July yet. And remember, the movie comes out July 8th. Okay, so, and they have time for the July 11th. I mean, they have time for the July 8th one as well. So we're still like early on. I got from comic book. Oh, I lost.
Well, let's take that number though, because he just says like 15% or something, 250 million pre-sales, and I had to look up the number. I did not go to look that up. And what is it? Was it Avengers Endgame he was talking about? Made $2 billion, and so therefore it's like 10% and stuff like that. Yeah, 250 million. Yeah, but of course this number 15% is not going to equate to that kind of thing. But the 10 million would. So you have $10 million. Let's just say we'll go up to 100 and or not 100, but 15 million. Like I said, the Batman was like 12 million or something like that, 12 or 13 million pre-sales. So then the full sales after that, I forget what the Batman made, but it was less than $1 billion. But it doesn't equate to 10% with the pre-sales to that. So there's definitely a difference if we just go off of that. But again, this is not just Superman. This is talking about when Fantastic Four said that they started. Oh, they sold out. They crashed the website, and nobody could get their tickets, and theaters are filling overflowing and stuff like that. I'm exaggerating slightly, but the promotion for the Fantastic Four did that. Superman went on sale a certain day. I was looking at them and seeing they were available and nearly buying some tickets 4 days before that, before they officially went on sale. So some things are being said, but anyway, let's keep going with this because I want to get through what he's saying.
That's the thing. No, it didn't. Comicbookmovie.com. They said that Superman is around has surpassed $10 million in pre-sale tickets, which beats the Batman 7.5 million pre-sale count, which again, that was the Batman's entire pre-sale count. So we're going to continue to have more pre-sales coming in over the next, 2 weeks? More than 2 weeks? And it's going to continue to grow and probably have a very healthy number, which it already does. It's already breaking records for this year and stuff. I mean, looking at it and acting like it's just bad is just crazy to me. And again, the title of the video, can you tell I'm a little passionate, a little
He misspoke a little bit there. You can look at those numbers though, but it does say they could make as much as 17 to 19 million dollars pre-sales is what it was projecting for Superman pre-sales. I don't know what the number is at right now. That was he said comic book movie. I think is one of those he recommends. Go check it out. But and I admire his passion about it too, and trying to hype or stay hyped and all of that. I admire that. Uh, I'm not that hyped. I don't expect much out of Superman. Okay, um, and maybe I will be very surprised, and it's absolutely wonderful, and therefore it exceeds all of my expectations, and I will be on here the evening of the 10th recording a video and saying it was great, or maybe it would be the other way. Whatever, whatever it is, I'll be reporting back to you. But again, 19 million. Again, if it was 10%, multiply that out. The full run, 10 times, $190 million is the full. You know. So I know, and I know what all of you might be saying. I'm not projecting that. In Kryptonite Korner, you agree? That's not a clear cut example of the two. However, if the $250 million is incorrect, pre sales that he just said, that may be opening weekend, I don't know. But if that was truly what the pre sales were, then we are living in a different age just a few years later. Okay? As far as movies go, we are living in a different age. So, and I don't think you can speak to every movie that way. It just doesn't work, for sure. So it's comparing apples to oranges or grapefruits and grapes. That's sort of what it's doing. And no criticism really on that. I mean, I'm sure that Mr. Kryptonite Corner would admit that we're not looking at the same kind of numbers, unless that 250 million number is wrong and it's closer to like say 25, and then you've got a huge different um, difference of income, or you're looking at a much higher box office total draw. Um, let's say 50 million, ticket sales might equate to something like that or show what a box office is going to get based on pre-sales. So, let's see. But again, we're coming off of this with reports about things that people are not super excited about, while some people are, and saying this is going to be a great movie, while some people don't agree, uh, and the promotion, which you want to do somewhat in your advertising, is say this is great and we're selling out, so that you know I've only got 2 books left. You've got to buy them now. Oh, I just got a phone call. We're about to sell out. You know what I mean? So you're trying to promote something. They won't last long. You got 500,000 copies that are available. I understand trying to sell something, even though I'm not a salesman. I'm not very good at it. Um, but let's keep going.
The title of the video is that Superman tickets are not selling. You don't break records for the year and call it not selling. You don't outbeat other.
There's the question. Sorry. You don't beat records. I don't believe these records. If the pre-sales for Avengers Endgame was 250 million, then Superman is not breaking records on pre-sales. Okay? I don't agree. I can't see it. Logically, that doesn't fit. That doesn't make sense. So let's say breaking records for the last few years, maybe. Breaking records for this particular time of year. That's a lot of what they do in saying they set records is they set Memorial Day records. Now they set July 4th records. Now they set July 4th week records. Jurassic World is looking at starting on the 2nd, through the weekend, the 2nd being Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They want that entire weekend to say, the full weekend, and then probably Monday to say the extended weekend are these sales, if they do well in the sales. So we're assuming something. So there's a lot of that. Batman v Superman broke records for its time and did pretty well opening, and should have been the Ultimate Edition because the theatrical was butchered. And most critics I looked at changed their tune on Batman v Superman after watching the Ultimate Edition. Said this is what should have been in the theater, the full 3-hour movie. And if people had watched it, then they would have, uh, had better word of mouth. It still would have gotten some hate because certain people were just hating it from a certain direction and point of view. We'll leave it at that and just continue on with Mr. Korner here.
Records for the year and call it not selling. You don't outbeat other movies that got close to $1 billion on their first one and call it not selling. Okay, that's not. I can't even. Help me in the comments, please. Help me to understand his mentality. Guys, I like to understand where other people are coming from.
I want to see where you're coming from with knowing the numbers are actually breaking records. What movie is that made more than $1 billion that Superman has broken the records of? What are we talking about? We're talking about Batman, because as far as I know, it wasn't over $1 billion. And I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. It's somewhere under. I had to go and look again, but still pretty sure. So it wasn't that. So what are we talking about? What are we referring to when you say this movie? And maybe you said it and I missed it, and you can comment below and tell me that I missed it. But let's keep going because we're almost an hour in and I haven't gotten anywhere.
I don't want to bash Tyrone. I like Tyrone. I watch some of his videos. Okay. I don't watch everything, but I'm not interested in everything, just like y'all do with me. But I enjoy his company on the internets there, and I like him a lot. But I can't understand the Superman thing. I think he dug his heels in the ground on a position, and I see him when he watches these trailers. He's like smiling with a furrowed brow. Just go back and watch his trailer. That's what he looks like. He's smiling with a furrowed brow, and he's like enjoying it, but not wanting to tell anybody because he already stuck his heels in the ground and he is where he is. It's like, okay, I told everybody this thing was going to suck. I better kind of stay there. And, I know he says he hopes it does good. But I think he says that out of some sort of maybe humility, because I really don't think he wants this to do good. I think he wants something to happen so that the Snyderverse gets finished. And I want that too. I want the Snyderverse to get finished out. It was looking really good towards the end there, especially the Snyder Cut. Very good. But it's over. It's done. And we have a chance at something that might not get cut off finally. I mean, Man of Steel, we never got a Man of Steel 2. Brandon Routh's his movie, we never got to see what was happening with Luther on the island, never got to see what happened with his son, never got to see what happened with him and Lois, and she wasn't married, but she was involved. There was a lot of loose ends we never got to see there. We keep not getting things finished. Lois and Clark's Superman TV series, didn't get to see what happened at the end of that series. I won't spoil that for you if you haven't seen it. But guys, this is just driving me insane with all of this push to hate as much as possible on a movie that is not looking bad. We've got comments like bad CGI. We've got comments like ugly characters. We've got all these different things. And when I watched the trailers for the first time, I didn't even have this channel when I watched the trailer for the first time.
All right, Skippy. There we go.
When was that? December? Okay. My channel wasn't out yet, right? And I was really blown away. By one of the only reactions on my channel that I have where it's not like my first time viewing is my very first video, because I was like, well, I mean, I saw it a while back. Maybe it'll all be fresh for me. And then everything else is pretty much regular reactions. But when I saw it that first time, I wish I could have recorded it for you, because as a huge Superman fan who enjoyed the Snyderverse, who enjoys Reeves, who enjoys all that stuff, watching it the first time, I was so hopeful. A little worried about Krypto, a little worried about the extra characters in the movie, but not like using those to say, well, this will definitely be bad because there's something I'm worried about. Looking at it and saying, that looks like a Superman movie I want to see. And that's what the majority of the populace is going to do, and that's why you can't judge by the very beginning of something how it's going to do. It's kind of like my videos when I post them. A lot of them take time to start taking off. They don't just, as soon as I post it, get all their views and then just stop. They usually start to gain them. Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, I need to know what you think. Do you think that the ticket sales right now are bad? Do you think that whenever you go to your theaters, are your theaters mostly full? Some of you told me that you almost couldn't get in at the very beginning on the 8th whenever you were trying to get your early release tickets and stuff. Let me know in the comments. I want to know what's happening with you guys, and I want to know if maybe I'm just crazy and somehow going biased. Like, I don't even have the mentality this movie's going to be good. I'm excited that it might be. I don't know. It may suck, but to just go and pull out information like this, that when you think about it logically, like I've laid out for you, it's like, man, that's got to be coming from some place of like I said, digging in the heels. So I don't know. Anyways, let me know what you think. I really do want to know what you think. And you know what else I'd like to know? If you think that I think it was genius that James Gunn has done this the way he's done, where it's kind of opposite of Snyderverse. And I talk about that in this video right here. Check it out. Let me know what you think, because I really do want to know if you think it's as genius as I do.
All right, so we'll come to here. This is Fandango's website. And let's do there's obviously not on here particular July 8th showing. So this is what I'm going to try to do. Let me see about this. I should be in here. Oh, and y'all can send me an email if you want to. Yeah, I'll have to try to check that later. What that may mean is I don't see what I was looking for. There's pre-sales and all that. For something else. For certain theaters. So we're going to look at theaters. No, let's look at... let's try this. Let's try this. No. Come on. July 8th. Alright, we got AMC in Destin, near Destin and Panama City. Pre-screening. See how this is gone? So I can't see anything. I had logged in and done this before, and it still won't do it. Now, usually you can go in and just click on it. Now, it may be because that's sold out that they decide they're removing it. Although I don't know why, because you could just click on it and you could see a full theater. that'd be great. But it doesn't have it there. So that's in Panama City. Let's say we'll go to Dallas, Texas. And yeah, let's just do all. Oh, come on now. Yeah. All right, we're going to look at again July 8th. We have Megan. That Superman either sold out or because I'm not logged in, it's not showing through. But it won't do it. Like I said, I could log in and it won't do it. So I'll even assume they're sold out. But that's one showing, one day, not 2 or 3 showings that same day, early access. One showing, one day, specific places. Okay, so we'll go from there to July 10th, and we got AMC. Well, Megan AMC. We got Alamo Drafthouse Cinema Cedars. So 2 o'clock on Thursday, July 10th. And give it a second and pop up. There's one ticket sold. Zoom in a little bit. One ticket. Maybe this isn't a very good place. I don't know. Yeah, let's go back to this. And we'll go to 4 o'clock. Maybe 2 o'clock is too early. 4 o'clock. Come on. And I apologize. This is going to take a little while because I'm just pulling up the information for you. You can see it yourself. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tickets sold for Thursday at 4 o'clock. And let's go back. Superman. Again, staying at Alamo Drafthouse, 5:15. So kind of a prime time. 7:15 also maybe a prime time. So maybe these will do better. I wish I'd pulled some of these up already so I could just show you. There's 4 seats sold. You see that? 4 at 5:15. Oh, and Alamo Drafthouse 7:15. I can try 8:32 and all that. If I feel like this is going to go for a long time if we keep doing this. So now I'm in Dallas, showing Dallas's thing. So oh, there we go. Quite a few comparatively, but probably less than half of the theater. Might be right around half full. It's not sold out. Okay, so people saying, "Oh, they're sold out. I couldn't buy tickets." You got plenty of tickets to see here. Front row's kind of hard to deal with. Second row is, the third row is a little bit better. This row and this row is probably your best seating. This row is probably not too bad. Getting toward the back and getting a little bit far, for my taste anyway. I don't want to look at it like I'm looking at my TV screen in the front room. I want to look at it like it's huge. So I try to get somewhere in this area, you know. But you could count them. It's not sold out. You can see them. It's not sold out. Okay, there's probably about half the theater left, mostly because of the front row and stuff like that. So I'll grant you this is even a little better than half sold for that one. Come on, what are you doing? The website ought to go right back to where I came from on it. All right, Alamo Drafthouse. That was the 7:15. Let's look at the 8:30. I think the 10:30 is just. We'll look at one of those and then say, okay, our range is probably like 5 to 8:30, or maybe not. So 8:30 though. It's only 5 seats. No, 8 seats. So very very few. Plenty of room on Thursday. Okay. You say, well, what about the next day? Well, let's get to that in a minute. So we go to see how this lines up. That was Alamo Drafthouse, and just look at 10:30 for the sake of it. Now Dallas is big. It should be, if there's a lot of people there and stuff. It should be selling pretty rapidly, right? Anyway, next is Sinopolis, uh, or no, Sinpolis. Y'all tell me how y'all pronounce that there in Dallas. Simpolis Luxury Cinema, Victoria Park. So 240 sounds nice. Luxury cinema. Uh, oh, I I hit the 341, I think. Because I tried to hit the first one and missed it. Let's see what it says. Yep, 340. Front row is sold out. I don't know who did that, but I'm sorry. That's strange. I'd almost say that those aren't real. It's, if you go to movies, it's not normal to sit in the very front row of the theater. You sit back 3 rows or more. That's kind of crazy. In fact, the stage is probably up here, and you go down. This is the bottom of the screen, pretty much, right? And as you go up, you get a little bit higher and toward the center of the screen, and up here you're kind of toward the top of the screen. So, that you know this if you go to theaters. This is the stage, as it were. It sits on a platform area. Not sits on, but you know what I'm talking about. But this is where you walk in, and then you climb down to these seats. This probably is okay. You're looking up a little bit and back. This is probably your best seating, and so forth. I don't know who would have bought these tickets, and the fact that they're all sold kind of looks a little suspicious. You can admit that, or you can say, "Oh, it looks totally normal to me." Tickets are tickets sold. Okay, well, um, nonetheless, there's 5 tickets outside of these: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah, so 5 plus 13 in the very front row. All right, let's. Come on. I have no idea why this website is jumping around. Sorry about that. No idea why it's jumping around. Let's check this out though. All right, 3. One sale right up there, and 3 total tickets. Either that person doesn't go to the movies much, or they just bought a ticket and said, "Well, I'm going to sit wherever I want to, and just going to buy that ticket there." And go to 6. And bear with me a moment. All right, sorry about the little delay there. Not much for you, but anyway, for me. So here we go. This was 6 o'clock, also still on Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. I think if I counted that right, about 12 seats sold. People in Dallas, if you like this luxury cinema, let me know. Let's see what you got for 7 o'clock. So the 7 o'clock one was the best selling, right? It's about half sold in the other, or so, a little bit more maybe. Let's see about this one. Not half sold. Front row's gone. Again, that sounds suspicious to me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 plus the 13 in the front. Yeah, still not, If we got 13, we got 13, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7. 7 times 13 approximately is going to be 90, or let's just say, I want to count one sometime and see exactly how many there are. I know there's less here, but there's a few seats there. You can't get those. And there's like one or two extra seats up here. Two are moved from the middle. So that's what I'm saying. 13, 13, a little bit more than 13 actually. So you get 13 for three of them, 13, 13, and then a little less than 13. 11, 11, and 3, maybe? It depends on how you look at uh, the handicap areas. Because it is enough seats, but you may not see a lot of handicapped people going to theaters. So it's a good question there as to where they would be. And you can fit some handicapped people up in the balcony also, usually, because you can usually get in an elevator in these theaters and go up to the second floor. But anyway, but 13 times 3, 4, 5, 6. And then maybe, let's say 7. 7 times 13 is 70, 80, 91, and then 12. So there's 100 people. We're just going to say it's a 100-seat theater. And a lot of these are going to be similar. I'm not going to count them all because they are different than each other, especially when we get into some moving things. But anyway, luxury cinema. What are y'all doing? I mean, you're letting the Alamo Drafthouse, sell out more tickets than you. Come on. Why aren't you going and buying your tickets? Yeah, 3, 4 tickets on the 9:30 showing. So let me go on from there. I'm going to go to, Violet Crown, Dallas. I'm going to go ahead and look at them all. And then I might be doing a little bit more, just, checking, as it were. 3, a little more discerning. Just a few, because we want to get through the video so you can see what I'm saying. All right. Maybe these are not popular theaters for y'all. I don't know. But if you're in this area, you have 3 seats. You can go see it. You are not sold out. Those people in Dallas area that are saying, well, it's sold out where I go. Well, maybe. But if you're able to go a few streets down, several blocks over, or even halfway across town, and you got prime seats all available right here. 4 tickets sold on this day for $9.40. I don't know again what Violet Crown even is like. We did look at this, right? 6:45. And you say, well, this is going to change on opening night. The point is that the Fandango website was shutting down because everybody was and their mother were buying tickets. All right, the Texas Theater. I think this is not going to. I don't think. So I'm not sure if this is reserved seating or not. Yeah, this is just a ticket. So apparently there's available space at the Texas Theater. So let's check this out. Angelica Film Center and Cafe. Let's just go to the 710 one, and we might look at the 425 one just to see, because we might be looking at the wrong thing. That or we found this. Oh my goodness, this is a huge theater, and 6 tickets sold. This is big. That is really large. I'm sorry that it is. Maybe some people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see it in IMAX, and that's the only way I'm gonna go see it." So maybe. Yeah, let's see. Maybe that's what it is. Let's find an IMAX theater. And I'm not picking these out. I'm picking them out randomly. There are no tickets sold for the 425 in Angelica Film Center and a cafe. Now, how much is a ticket? Okay, I just selected one at random. Matinee, $12. $11 for children. $11 for seniors. Okay, so and I'll take it off there just so nobody accuses me of being like that Reddit post because I'm certainly not, and I don't know where that even came from. Here's AMC North Park, July 10th. Oh, okay, they're spotlighting. So we scroll on down, and we were at that. We looked at these two. I'll look at the other two if anybody wants me to. Landmark Inwood Theater. So let's go to 7:45. Oh, okay. Not. Yeah. I gotta look here first. If it doesn't say reserved seating, then you just go and purchase your ticket. So Landmark Inwood. Nope. So AMC North Park. Here we go. Here we go. Big place. IMAX 3D. First showing 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Only one IMAX 3D showing. That's interesting in itself. Okay. A third of the tickets. I mean, one, two, three. Get a little closer here. That looks like that might be a little s for a child, possibly. Adults and children, maybe. I don't know. Why would there be one child way over here? That would be kind of strange. But I don't know. There's different size Superman emblems there. Two. Give you maybe 30. So I would assume there's 100 seats there. And because if I look at like this amount and this amount and this amount, they look similar. So I'd say about a third sold. And that's interesting. Um, and you look, see, people up here. This looks like a couple of stories. That's big theater. I didn't even think about all this down here, but I like to exclude this. I don't. If this is not sold and everything else is sold, it's a sold out theater. You know, I have sat right here before. You know, right up underneath the big IMAX screen, trying to see it in Spider-Man Homecoming because that was all that was left to be able to watch because we did not get our tickets ahead of time or even try. We just went and said, okay, well, you want to try this one. All right, so 9:30 p.m. on that day, 9:30 p.m. IMAX. But again, AMC, IMAX 3D, plenty of seats available. You are not sold out, Dallas. Not at all. This thing doesn't want to go as quickly as I'd like it to go. This is pretty well sold out. I mean, these seats up here are surely available. You got a couple rows that are probably pretty good. IMAX 2D. This is as much sold out as I have ever seen for a theater so far in all my checking. And there you are. And this does say select up to 20 seats. There certainly could be people that are not going that are, that are all that. I'm not promoting any of those ideas. I just don't want to leave you with somebody coming back and saying to me, "Oh, well, people are pretending to buy these tickets, and people are AMC monthly owners and stuff. They're just getting a ticket just to make it look like it's sold, but they're not actually going to go and watch it and stuff like that." Now, uh, one of those holders said that. At least I believe what he said when he said that he was one. So I'm not saying it from a conspiracy theory end. This dude said he was going to spend all 16 of his available tickets on Superman just to make somebody else look bad. But anyway, this is the 3D one at 3 o'clock. No tickets sold. Completely available. Same theater. That's a little unusual. That's kind of, it makes me feel a little suspicious at that idea. Now we go to, let's say, we'll go to the standards, but let's go to Dolby, is what this says. Recliner seats. Maybe this is a little bit fancier. Dolby. Okay, so there's a few sold there. Not sold out. Not unable to go get a ticket on Thursday night. You say, well, who's going to go to a movie on Thursday night? I go to a movie on Thursday night. I'm going to go see Superman on Thursday night. So, yes. Now, there's an opening event there. So, we're going to look at that in a second. All right, this is pretty well sold out. It looks similar to the number, maybe less than that other theater was, but there's a lot sold. Not sold out. Again, we're looking at Dallas. All right, which I was told Dallas is going to have a whole bunch of just sold out. But if you're sold out at AMC, go to another theater. There's plenty, and there's even the one I showed you earlier, which is not sold out at all. This is the 1031. If it's sold out at 7 something, go to the 1031. It's the summertime. Come on. There you go. Again, plenty of room to buy more tickets. So you're not sold out. You weren't unable to get a ticket. Okay, from Fandango. Let's go ahead and let's hit 7 and see what we got here. And we see 10 people. Okay, 10 seats. That's at 7 o'clock, a standard showing. It's still going to be looking fine. So, well, maybe that's too late. Maybe 6:30. Maybe 6:30. One. One at 6:30 on the standard. Maybe nobody wants to see this movie in a standard showing. So let's go to 10 o'clock. Just to look at it. Did I look at that real 3D? I think I did. Yeah, I did, because it's empty. And people want to see the IMAX 3D, so they don't. But anyway, completely empty. All right. If you can't go to an earlier one, go to a later one. At least don't say there was no ability for us to go to this movie. We're sold out everywhere. No, it's not. I just came down here and it was Alamo Drafthouse again. It's like, why in the world are we looking at that when it's up here? We already saw it, you know? Cedars. Well, let's check it out. So it's confusing me. Yeah, North Park. Maybe North Park's just the most not expensive, but popular. Okay, so Highlands has another one. Before we go to the Highlands one, because that's the next one, is a 6 p.m. This was the 2 p.m. IMAX 3D. And then let's go to the 6 p.m. fan event. So it's going to be sold out because surely you got fans in Dallas, and they're going to call that. It's not sold out. That's, again, pretty close to as much as I've seen. Which that could be 2 o'clock show and then go to this one afterwards. You're going to watch it 2 times. This could be a lot of the same people. Still a ticket sold. That's great. But yeah, you still have rows of seats available. You know, them not prime, or there's one right there. I mean, somebody got to snatch that up, snatch that one up, snatch these up. These right here, those are good. These are all pretty good too. Usually, maybe this screen is too high or something. I don't know. But yeah, So that was the event, and it's again, it's not sold out. Um, okay, that was the IMAXs though. That's the IMAX theater in that town. The Highlands Draft House, Alamo Draft House Highlands, is not quite half sold. You got plenty of tickets. So not as sold out as in at least one of the showings. For was that earlier? Was that 3:30? And we'll check 7 too. And again, be glad to check any other place or any other number of uh, times that you like. Okay, so 3:30 is not sold out at all. Not a single ticket, so y'all have got uh, the ability to go. Okay, so let's skip down. So we saw the one, and most of our 10 o'clock ones are later. So 7, right? We looked at 6:30, 3:30, and I think if my mind is serving me right. Yeah, because this is not as sold out as the other one was at 6:30. So you got 7 o'clock. So again, prime shows. Studio movie Grill Dallas. Let's check that out. I'm not sure what all that means. I don't live in an area where they serve food um, to the theater. Not close. I could go down to about an hour away and get one. Plenty of room there at 6 o'clock show. I mean, just plenty of room. Okay, well, before we go to Galaxy, let's check the 2:30. Maybe this grilling thing is a good lunch, late lunch kind of thing. 6 people, maybe 7. All right, let's try 9:30. Maybe it's late grilling. Like to have late dinner. Hmm? A few more. For 10 people. 10 looks like 10 seats. All right, so let's okay, the Galaxy one, right? We got a standard and we got a Screen X. Now, Screen X might be cool, and I might think about it. It depends. If the movie's really good, then I'm probably gonna go see it in IMAX and then 3D. Um, yeah, IMAX, 3D. I'm watching it in 4X, 4DX, which is the moving chairs, and 3D, 4DX, 3D. Um, there's a few sold. This is a pretty big theater there. Galaxy looks pretty cool. I can imagine that these seats, and probably even these, are not very good seats. They're looking at third row and beyond. So these people got some good seats. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 people. 14 tickets sold. And again, that was. Let me go back to that. If it'll let me. Come on. 7 o'clock. Screen X. That was Screen X. So I'm not watching Screen X and just to see if it's Screen X again. Let's see 340 Screen X. And then we'll look at 5 and maybe 2 on the standard. 4. Okay, and you know the screen is the front and then it's on the side on the Screen X. Where it just seemingly expands your view. I don't know how much of it is actually expanded in, actual shots or how much is just we're stretching out the side image so that you see it beside you and it looks more engulfing, as it were. So 5 in this one. And this is not, oh yeah, this is not the Screen X though. This is the regular one that we were just looking at. Screen X. Don't have anything sold out yet. We got 2 p.m. Standard. One. Okay. Again, I think this puts, in my opinion, this puts a lie to we are sold out everywhere. We can't get our tickets. We're crashing Fandango's website and all that. I don't. I have not heard a credible story yet. That I can't give you the idea. And let's see this page 2. That you know you're actually selling out. This is not sold out. Cinemark Dallas XD and IMAX. So XD maybe similar to my 4DX or something. Luxury lounge chairs. Oh, all this stuff. Spanish language. Cinemark XD and D box. That's basically what 4DX is the D box kind of thing. So let's check that out. Can we go from the bottom up on this one? 545 rather. It's the moving seats and so forth. Patented technology. Now there's a sold out theater. Okay. And makes it suspicious that the whole thing right in front of the screen is sold out, but that is a pretty well sold out theater. Got a few places left. You're not totally sold out. Go and buy your tickets. Okay. And there will be people that are not in those seats. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying anything bad about them. Now, if you go and see that one, that's that 535. Say, oh, I didn't get in. I can't go. And I got 4 tickets left available, but don't want to be in that packed of a theater. Okay, we got this one then. That's pretty well sold out also. In fact, it's sold out almost exactly the same, which again seems suspicious. Okay, so when something like that seems suspicious, it just is what it is. And that's $27 a ticket. Okay, so they're pretty well sold there. I will give them that. And that is the most I've seen as far as a capacity. Another theater might have been bigger and had therefore about as many tickets sold. All right, 8:40 p.m.s in the Cinemark XD. Doesn't I'm not sure what that is, but it doesn't say D box. So now that Showtime's in Spanish. They not want to see Superman. That's kind of suspicious in itself. But there's another one. So let's look at the other one. Which one did I go to? Which one did I go to? Let's hit this one and see. The second one on the right side. Sold out. So the other one's overflow. Yeah, it's not quite sold out. There's a few left. But the theater themselves may stop selling and start sending people to a second screening or something. So jumping back to that one. Yeah, Showtime is in Spanish language, which is fine. I mean, it's Dallas. I live in an area where there's a lot of Spanish speaking people. Surely Dallas has a lot of Spanish speaking people. Do they want to see Superman? I don't know. This is Spanish. 531, 525 rather. But it looks like just kind of a regular showing. standard. It's very similar showing. Sold out. Why are these not sold? These are prime seats. I mean, if I click on it, I can select it. I'm not going to go drive to Dallas or fly to Dallas to watch this. Just for my standard D box. This is Jurassic World. So Jurassic World D box 3D at 420. Let's see what that says. Oh, it's about as sold out for something that would have been in theaters for, 9 days at that time. So that's it's kind of telling as far as how full the theater is and why. 830 D box. I assume standard screen though, not 3D or anything like that. So sold out. So a lot of people are wanting to watch this in D box in Dallas. D box being the moving chairs and moving around. So let's check out just the IMAX at 2 o'clock. That's pretty well. It's pretty good. Still about half of the theaters available. So it's not sold out. IMAX 2D experience at 2 o'clock. Well, it's too early to go to a movie. Maybe. Let's see. 8:10. It's not my fault that they made the other ones, I guess, the... Anyway. I would think this is 2 IMAX screens. Must be the other movie. That's pretty well sold out. 8:10. Again, there's still plenty of seats that you can get in there. So don't think you can't watch the movie. You got 5:05. We still got 11:15 we could show you there too. But that's the IMAX 2D. A lot of people are preferring that. And again, we look at the standard. This is IMAX 2D. It says. I'm pretty sure it said 3D. But anyway, plenty here. Not even a third is sold there. That was 5:05. Yeah, it's regular IMAX. Oh, it says digital 3D, so it is 3D. Real 3D, 7:15. Oh, there's the. No, it was 2D. All right, let's check it out. Spanish. Nobody. Nobody wants to see it in 3D in Spanish? Huh. Okay. Well, that's the only showing for that one. 7:15. It's not too late or too early. Standard. How was the cinema? I think I looked at this one, didn't I? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't. But it's less than a third. Plenty to go look at that. It's 5:55. 5:35 rather. Alright, now we're going to look at standard. This is standard XD, then this was a 605. And then the Spanish one's there, so 605. There's plenty of seats left. Is it not even the third sold? I can check. In fact, I will check out the 831. Look at the Spanish 525. Not a lot. And it's the opposite of the other ones are selling all these, and this is sold out right there. So that's interesting. Interesting as in if I was going to do a lot of research, then I'd be looking at some things and trying to figure it out. Now, these three are not the same three, are they? They're the same times, but seemingly different there. Let's go back to this. It's, English and okay, so they're scattered through the middle. There's still not even a fourth sold, I would say. Let's scroll down, see the next one. We got IMAX 3D. Where is this at? AMC Dine-In Mesquite. Alright, so that's fancy. 3 o'clock, dine-in. Delivery to seat. Oh man, this is nice, right? Seems nice. That's not a lot of people. That's it's 3 o'clock, maybe 3D experience. Who wants to eat while looking at 3D? Now I hope nobody's doing a D box with a dine-in special and an attached food tray or something like that. That would seem extreme to me. Okay, IMAX. There's digital 3D. So let's try this one. IMAX at 9 o'clock. And this may be just what they're doing on Thursday. Okay, so there's a few more. Number of seats there. But not nearly a quarter of the theater full. So you're not full. You understand that? People in Dallas, don't tell somebody that your theater's sold out. Not a one of these is actually sold out. There may be a few where they're saying, okay, we're not selling any more tickets for that. Um, that's it. Superman 3D at 4:30. Nothing. People don't like 3D, but they like IMAX 3D. Some of that sounds suspicious too. We're gonna hit 7:30 because maybe that's just a better time. Waiting, and nothing. Nothing in the earlier show, nothing in the later show. They might as well quit doing 3Ds, real 3Ds, if they're not going to sell tickets, you know? Standard, 8 o'clock. Recliner seats and stuff like that. I didn't see anything extra special. It's just a standard show. It's pretty well half or a little more sold out, especially if we exclude these. A little more than half sold out, but you got plenty of seats left, guys. And some prime seats, man, somewhere in that third row or fourth row. That was at 8 o'clock. Let's go to 5 o'clock. It's a Dolby. It doesn't say standard, but I assume all of these are standard in this line until it says something different. No, nowhere near sold out. Nowhere near sold out. All right, so trying to move past it. Let's go to 6 o'clock IMAX fan event. This is the other IMAX theater, or other AMC dine-in theater. The fan event, 6 o'clock, should be sold out. Pretty well sold out, at least. Not half. So those of you that would complain, oh, it's not, it's all sold out here. Why aren't you going over to this one, this fan event? Well, it's a long way away from me. It's across town there. Well, maybe so. Maybe I'm in Fort Worth. I haven't even looked up Fort Worth. So, nah. Ooh, Draft House in Collins. Let's just look at the 7 o'clock one. Sorry, Colinas. Not Collins. Oh, maybe about half. Let's see. 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, about 50, and I assume there's 100 seats available. It might be a little better than half sold out. Half sold out does not mean sold out, so go to the movie, man. Okay, clean this. Spring Valley. Yeah, 6 o'clock. Few. 7 o'clock. A few more. I don't understand that. Alright, that was standard. AMC Village Parkway. Says laser at AMC Dolby. Says 7:15. So why aren't you showing the other ones? Because we were showing them, they were empty, right? Remember? Earlier and later showings, just empty. This about half full. Pretty good. I don't think that's record breaking and huge ticket sales, and all this is so um, amazing. Where did it come from there? Let's see, Irving Mall. Yeah, here's the Parkway. That's what I thought, on the Parkway 9. 5:15 or so. 2. These websites should go straight back to where I was. I will be happy. There's a lot of theaters, though. Oops. Okay, we already looked at that. Looked at that one. No, we didn't look at that one. There it is. 2 o'clock. See what I'm going to do from now on. Alright, there's 4 tickets. Instead of going back and forth, it'll save us some time. So I should have done this before. But I'm going to open this up in a new tab. Didn't exactly do what I was hoping it would do, which was just stay still. Alright, I'm trying to load. No more than 10. A little bit more. Plenty of room though. And that's the 8:30 showing, so it's not too late. Okay, I'm going to close that. Go back here. I'm going to scroll on down. We got a Hooky Entertainment Addison EVX. SDX. Not sure what that means. Let's just go to 7. Oh, dog. Nothing. Alright, see it stays on there. There we go. That was that 7 o'clock one. So let's open in that tab. New tab. New tab. And what is this one? I'm going to do this one. This one. Alright, it's looking like... Let me show it to you. Okay. This is the Hooky Entertainment at 5 o'clock. Nothing. Let's go to Hooky Entertainment at 8 o'clock. Nothing. Hooky Entertainment, Addison, 4 o'clock. Nothing. Superman 3D, 2 seats at the AMC Irving Mall. Another one, 4:15 p.m. and nobody there. Same one, Irving Mall. Irving Mall, 14. One ticket. That's usually hard to get by because you're usually supposed to be sitting with a disabled person in order to get a ticket right next to the disabled seats or in between them, and stuff like that. Okay, a few more here, but not much. That's also at the mall at 8:30. Huh. Sorry. Cinemark Lancaster 14. So let's check that. Let's check this. It's 3D and standards. Let's scroll down a little bit. Go down a little Draft House. 4:15. This is the Richardson one. And those of you who thought that the places were sold out, okay, please. You want to go buy tickets and you thought everything was sold out? By all means, buy tickets still. The Lancaster 14, there's nothing in the 3D. Nothing sold. One sold at the 550 regular. Maybe this is just not a popular theater. Nothing there. Now, this is not just, somebody might say, this is Fandango tickets. No, it's not. It's not just Fandango tickets. They're looking at the theater and saying this is available. It's a program that works, okay? They know whether or not the others are sold from somewhere else. There's a number back here. What is that? Don't know. And a couple up there. All right. And that's the 4:15 at the Richardson, Alamo Draft House Richardson. And then, come on, y'all. Get in the tickets. Whew. Sorry. It's not late here, but it's getting later. I'm a little tired. All right, there's a good amount at the Alamo Draft House Richardson at 6:30. About half the theater sold. It's like a different one. Okay, so we're closing that out because we're not going back. All right, let's go to this one. No, this one. There we go. Grand Prairie Premier Lux Cinema Pizza Pub, 2 o'clock p.m. 3 tickets. Again, that same place, 4 o'clock, nothing sold. Nothing sold at the 5:05. Same place, 8:10. Got a few sold. About 10 maybe 15 at the most. All right, got a few more, maybe 20 or something. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, maybe something like 50. I'm not sure. Because it doesn't look like even half of the tickets are sold. But yeah, don't know how many there are. Alright, so there's that one. Alright, page 3 of Dallas. You got a lot of places near you. Alright. Grand Prairie, Cinemark Grand Prairie. Let's go to 7:30. Yep, you still got plenty of room there. Let's go back. That didn't just pull up in a new tab. Okay, let's go to the early one. 8:15. 10:45. And then digital 3D. Sorry, get some people calling me. Don't know if you can hear that or not. I assume that you can, though. Alright, real luxury, dine-in, and theater. We're going to go to 2 of those, 2 of these. And we're going to look at something else here in just a minute. This is IMAX's. That's where we've been having more help. And AMC IMAX's. So I don't know. Tell me if you get the, multiple tickets, a couple a week, four per week or something like that. 16 in the month. Excels. You got that opening night fan event. One of those was pretty empty, right? Yeah. So if you're not near one of them, go to the other one. B&B theaters. Somebody may tell me, you looked at B&B theaters. What you doing? Oh, okay, it did. I didn't know if that caught or not. So I'm gonna go back as soon as possible, but give me a second. All right, B&B theaters, Red Oak. Plenty of place, plenty of sales available. Tickets available to be sold to you. All right, let's go to this one because this one should be popping up. That's the speed of my internet, right? 40 tabs open. All right, there's a few sold. At the Cinemark Grand Prairie, 4:15, July 10th. I X'd out of that so we can just pull up the next one. Let's go. There we go. One sold. 10:45 p.m. Same place. All right, there's Cinemark Central Plano. Just wait. A couple of tickets at the 505. Cedar Hill. Cinemax Cedar Hill. Less than 10 at 8:10. Cinemark, sorry. Cedar Hill. All right, and this one about 10. 5:30. Strike in Rio Luxury Dine-In and XD. Can wait. Don't worry about it. Tell my computer stuff. All right, 4 at the same place, 8:30 p.m. Yes, I could go look at the earlier ones. It's not a problem. And yeah, one ticket sold at 5:50. Cinemark, Cedar Hill. Here we go. No tickets sold at Cinemark Cedar Hill at 2:45. So like I said, we can go earlier, but that's kind of what we're getting. And then we're getting some oddballs that are sold a third out or 3/4 or something like that. Very few though. This is not half sold. I mean, you can count them up yourself. But 8:15 Cinemark Grand Prairie. So we're done with that one. Let's go ahead and go here. Okay, there we go. 5 o'clock, B&B Theaters, Red Oak, 12, a 3D showing, less than 10. Oh, there's 11, looks like. X out that one. All right, Superman opening night fan event, more than half sold out. So, if you don't like that, then go to that other one. It was less than half sold out, less than a third sold out. And you might count this up and it'd be about half. We'll eliminate the first 2 rows there and just say this is a little better than half. If you're going to a fan event or wanting to go to a fan event and wanting to hear cheering and stuff like that, that's where you're gonna go right there. That's where you want to go. I'm encouraging you to do it because you want to be around people that are saying they're fans, are excited to be there and stuff. All right, so there's 5, 10, 15, maybe a little more. At the Red Oak, 8 o'clock, 3D showing. It's about as much 3D as I've seen. There's a few others that were pretty close. There we go. Completely not sold out at the AMC Firewheel. 3:15 showing. Probably standard, but it's a Superman movie. Nobody's going to see it there. All right, then we got a 5:15. Also there. Got to be another spot though, because the whole back row is sold out, plus a couple. So we get rid of that. I'm gonna go there because I think it should be done. All right, it's 4 tickets at 5 o'clock at the Strike and Reel. Does that mean there's a bowling alley? Is that what's going on? So 20 maybe sold there. 8 o'clock at the Strike and Reel. Superman IMAX 3D Experience AMC Firewheel. You got this whole row sold, and a few there, a few there. They're scattered around. That's not a quarter sold though. So plenty of room, plenty of sales. I don't see that breaking records. And this is all much later than the opening sales thing. In looking at this before, there was less sales. So it's about half full. Couple people. So if you're half full there, go to the other theater. It's right across the way. I mean, I'm talking about it's in the same building. It's just down the street, walking street, hallway. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. This is towards sold out. It's not completely. It's still got a few that are pretty good. And push comes to shove, you go and sit down real close. You know. And this one, 4 tickets sold. We might have looked at that one. I don't know for sure. But if we did, if we didn't, there you go. Let's go to this one here. So 6 o'clock. Because I want to get you from this. It's 2 hours long. This is life. One seat. One seat. I want to go from here. I don't want to be accused of not showing everything. Okay? And it's not that I'm scared somebody could point something out. It's not that at all. Okay, this is the third. We've already looked at these things. Might have missed that. Is this the 14? Nope, it's Mesquite 30. There's another one. And let's see. Opening. Let me look at this opening night fan event. Do a comparison. This has been probably our more consistent, better selling ones. And then there's a couple in that 3DX, or what I would call three-dimensional in Xbox. There's not half of this sold, so it's like the other one. There's plenty of room at a fan event. Please, have at it. Go see them. So we already saw Kalina's. We already saw, I think, Parkway 9, and yeah, that might have even gone. I think it did. It went back to the second page. That's why we've already seen that one. So I'm going to see this one. There's the Firewall 18 and the fan event that we just looked at. The time before the very last one. All right, B&B Oak. Yeah, Plano here. Glance at one of those. There's Grill. Studio Movie Grill, Arlington, Lincoln Square. Let's just see it and come back. Yeah, back row. That's odd. Why would you buy the back row when you got everything in between? That's just odd. I'm sorry. And it lends toward people saying that studios will buy up seats. We're not going to buy up the really good seats. You buy up, you know, the worst seats that nobody would purchase. Few people will sit in the back of the theater, but it's not normal. Not that not in a, not that a person's not normal. It's just it's not normal to see the back sold out rather than the middle or the front. Okay, we looked at that one, and ooh, goodness, let's see. Let's go to fourth one. I'm not going to stay in Dallas, at least not all of it. But I can see if you go to a theater normally, you're going to this theater right here, Snopolis, Euless. Uh, I mispronounced that, I am sure. Um, that's kind of odd. I mean, there's a side seat right there. It's just kind of weird. Okay, so let's go to 7. That was 6, that's 7. This is standard. The other one was standard too. And again, it's kind of odd, but they're there. Seats sold. Alright, let's go and scroll down a little more because, like I said, I want to get in. Now, if you want to tell me which theater to look at specifically that's absolutely sold out, please do. But I've not seen a completely sold out theater yet. And I'm not arguing with anybody that says, well, they don't sell to full capacity. I understand that. They actually do sell to full capacity, though. They will do it. But, because like I said, we were watching Marvel movies with full capacity. Apologize again, interrupted by phone calls. But that's about half full there. And that's a Cinemark, Tinseltown, Grapeview, and XD or something like that. All right, now next here, let's back up. Let's go to Friday the 11th. We're gonna go to Friday the 11th. We're gonna make this a little bit simpler. Okay. This should allow me to go to the movies. and go to, come on, where's it coming soon? Movies, okay, coming soon. I skipped right over it, sorry. Coming soon, Superman. Okay, so let's go to this one and go to this one. And we go to opening July 8th. Okay, yeah, let's see. All right, see, not telling me whether or not they're available. It should at least tell me if it's available, I think. But let's go on back to why isn't it let me change the date? Hmm. Huh. I'm gonna refresh. Okay. Oh, okay. That is true what I clicked on right there. So this is the other one I'm looking for. There we go. On a different level. Alright, we're going to get off of that one because it's not helping us at all. Not making a case or nothing. Alright. Well, this was opening night. And we looked at those pretty much. 6 o'clock. That is not where I'm looking at. I'm looking in Dallas. So we are going to... let's do this. Because there's a Destin Commons. Move that. Go back to this one. And look at Dallas, Texas. So, I move this over here. I move my tabs around. And we're going to do July. No, we're not. We're in Dallas, Texas. We're going to look at movies. Coming soon. And see if this stays in Dallas. Coming soon. Superman, and we have the IMAX opening fan event. So here we go. Alright, IMAX event in Destin Commons. Again, not even a third. There's plenty of room to go around there. Okay. So we'll get out of the opening night for Destin. And this is July 11th for Panama City area. So let's go look at. I'm going to move this to Dallas, Texas. So what I want to do is see not just all this. This gives us just the Superman, which is probably where I should have gone. More theaters available. Plenty. Okay, so then we're going to go to Friday because we were looking at a bunch of Thursdays. Now this is, again, looking at IMAX opening event. Didn't I look at that? Let's check it out. Should show up in a second. And we'll be done with it. couple weeks I did this a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we looked at that one. And from a couple weeks ago, the I went to the ticket sales um, for Regal Cinemas and went to the most popular Regal Cinemas over in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, okay? The most popular Regal Cinemas in Los Angeles. And I looked at Times Square, or New York, and the Times Square and a couple others in New York, Regal Cinemas. So I was looking specifically at those. And this is the 11th now, Friday, um, opening day. And let's just look. We'll go to. We're looking at the Draft House. Let's go to the AMC and see it. Um, don't know why it would do that. This is just saying buy tickets. It's reserved seating, and they're saying buying tickets. So that's peculiar. All right, let's forget that. We're gonna go to the AMC North Park and look at the 3D one because that was pretty well sold out, right? Pretty good sales. So we're gonna look and see what it says. This is Friday. Friday night at the movies. Not sold out. And I'm not saying that that's not okay for sales. It's not for when you're saying that this is the biggest movie, y'all, we're going to make over $1 billion, and you're not selling out theaters that we're looking at. Just, you know, honesty is the best policy, you know. So let's go on down, look at that again. That's 7, not sold out, okay? This is IMAX at 3:15 on Friday. Again, plenty of seats. This is Friday. You wouldn't think necessarily Thursday might be fully sold out. Man of Steel was sold out in its opening thing. With they had a Walmart special. I got the ticket. I was there Thursday night. All right, and that was a 10 o'clock show. You didn't get earlier showings and stuff like that. It was sold out then, and it was sold out the next day. It was sold out the following day. It was sold out a lot. A lot of it was because I kept buying tickets. You know, I bought all the tickets. No, I bought tickets for people and my children and other people. I would buy tickets for, and we went to that movie a lot. That's a 4 o'clock 3D Superman. Nothing. Well, 4 o'clock 3D Superman 3D is nothing. Let's go on back to North Park. There's real 3D. We looked at that one. Look at the standard 5:30. Since nobody was buying the 3D one on Thursday, nobody would be buying it on Friday, I guess. But that just means you have empty theaters. Show the other version of it and sell out the tickets. You had 2 tickets sold for Friday at 5:30 at an AMC. Okay. Again, not record-breaking sales. They're not sold-out theaters. Not impossible to get tickets. You can book your tickets all day long here. Let me leave Dallas and come over to this area. This is a Regal Cinema 3D. Let's go to what they got is 3D 4X, right? I'm on July that. So yeah, 340. First showing. Well, there's a 2 o'clock showing for the standard. But you can't go to both standard and the other one, right? At 340. 2 o'clock to 340. Technically. No, still couldn't do it. See? Look at that. We got 4, 8, 9, 9 tickets sold. And that's 3D 4DX, July 10th. See, that's Panama City. Yeah, Panama City. That was saying Dallas, Texas. And let's go to this one. And we're going to change it to. Oop, come on now. Oh, 7 o'clock. 3D 4DX. This is like those other ones that were sold out around Dallas. All right. And people are people everywhere. People are people everywhere. They all go to movie theaters. There's not a lot of movie theaters in Panama City. But look at this. There's no sales. There's plenty of sales and seats left. Let's go to this IMAX at the Destin Commons, 9:15. And this is this is again on the 10th. Destin, popular. Ooh, you know, this should be pretty well sold out. We'll do a quick comparison because I don't think this is apples to apples at all. But let's go to Friday the 11th and look at there's an RPX, which is kind of like an IMAX, so fairly larger stadium seating. You know, it's close. Dolby Atmos sound. I don't know all the details of those things. I just know when you see them or hear them, you get that. What is that? Who in the world is buying only tickets on the side? You got all these open, wide open, beautiful seats there. Whew. Anyway, 11 at 6 o'clock. Not a whole lot. All right, so then from there, let's go to this is the Pier Park IMAX. Let's say 7 o'clock. This is on again Friday the 11th, 7 o'clock. Prime time showings. I haven't looked at this before. So nothing. I mean, this should be sold out. Compare it to something like Spider-Man: Homecoming. All the hype for Spider-Man. There's a lot of hype for this movie right here, and yet it's not. It's not selling out. Say Friday 3:45. Maybe the 7 is just an off time, not a good time. Let's see. 3:45. Nope. Still not sold out for sure. Uh, some prime seats sold. No. I say prime meaning just the best seats in the house. AMC Boulevard 10. Standard. We're gonna say Big D. I'm not sure what all that means. But 7:15. Big D later at AMC. So AMC. Maybe it's AMC. Everybody goes to AMC. Everybody's got these, you know, pre-ticket sale. What? Go to the next one. No, you gotta show me. I don't want that. No, I don't want that. We want to go to the reserved seating. And when they don't show you reserved seating, that kind of confuses me. All right, AMC at Destin Commons. Seems like we saw that. 7:15. Or did I already look at that? We don't need to. But I'm gonna close. Had another tab open. Close that out. Yeah, just a few in the middle. Plenty of seats left. So if we leave away from that and go to, let's go back to. Oh no, come on now. It's because I'm on Superman. Movies. There we go. Move to the movies. Coming soon. And oh, we had Jurassic World coming up. I don't think these are comparable. And we're gonna go to July 3rd because people would say nobody's gonna watch it on the 4th. The people will be watching on the 4th. So we go on the 3rd. Could go to Wednesday. That looks like a number of people are there. This is in the Panama City, so let's go to Destin. I was saying I looked up the tickets available at yeah, skip down there. Legendary Drive, Destin Commons. Say Dolby. Standard. Anyway, um, I was looking at Los Angeles, and less than a third of the theater showings, less than a third of the tickets for any particular showing, and that is only like 3 for anything, Los Angeles or New York. Anything. And any of their most popular ones. This again is Jurassic Park. That's close to half full, a little less than. I'm going to be granting this correctly. That's the 6:45 on, again, the 3rd. Let's just check. Check on July 4th. And we're going to go down to, what did we say? Destin Commons. Yeah, 6:45. It's an apples to apples comparison of Thursday and Friday of the same place. What we just saw, and now same one. A lot less. Now they, of course, are opening on the 2nd. So we then scroll up and go to the 2nd because they open on the 1st, but they're opening like midnight, which is actually on the 2nd. So going there, Destin Commons, 6:45. We saw a number of movies in Destin Commons. Oh, that's pretty good. That's the opening night. That's sort of compare it to what you saw with Superman. Now, I'm not saying that it's this particular thing. I just apples to apples comparison. Same place, same showtime, different days. So there's that. And like I said, New York though and Los Angeles. Let me find. In fact, let's just do it. Let's see, Los Angeles. Shouldn't they be completely like selling out everything? California. Los Angeles, California. I think go to the right one. And there was somewhere said select theater chain. There it is. Let's go to just because I looked up Regal. North Hollywood, supposed to be the most popular. And we'll scroll on over to the 10th. And then we'll look at the 11th. You got Superman, 6:45. This is digital real 3D. And we'll be done in just a few minutes. Because, like I said, I can do this all the time. Okay, so this is pretty good, but it's not full. Okay, going back to, okay, good, but still waiting to see this. We've sold out everything. All right, real 3D 245. You can go back to 330 or something too, but let's just look at this one. If y'all are in Los Angeles and you want to see the movie on the 10th, 245 Regal North Hollywood. Most popular Regal is that one or LA Live something or not. Live in LA, I'm not sure. Um, but there's that. Let's go to 6 o'clock standard one. This is one of the two most popular Regals. The Regal doesn't compare. Doesn't matter. Yeah, see, 6 o'clock. It's wide open. All right, let's back out from there and go to and select the theater. Regal. You got the LA Live and 40X. So we'll look at that and just see what it gives us. I should have gone to the July 11th, but I didn't. But we're looking at opening night. Now I'll tell you that the Friday was even less a few weeks ago when I looked at this. And I looked at this because of another video from Kryptonite Korner that basically said that, blowing out the tickets, it was the Fandango one. And we shut down Fandango, and nobody's lying about it. I'm not saying you're lying. It's just that those tickets are not so sold that tells me that you shut. Unless all of you out there went to get into the theater at the exact same time, and you shut down the website because you were all logging on to it at the same time. You flooded the servers. Say, well, I'm picking specific ones. No, I'm doing this randomly right now. There's just 3 right there in this 3D version. And it keeps sending me to the bottom of the page. Let me go to 8 o'clock in Real 3D. Real 3D 4DX. So this is the moving seats and everything. Like we saw over in Dallas, it should be full. This is Los Angeles. This is not half full. I'm just saying, it's not even half full. We go to the 11th. Go to 5:30. It's real 3DX, 4DX, and 3D. You say, well, that's a gimmick or something. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I mean, like I said, we looked in Dallas and there was sold out stuff. This is not half sold out, and it's Los Angeles. That's Friday night, opening, nominally opening night. Let's see. Trying to see if there was like besides the 40X, premium large format, this says. And so it's sort of their IMAX large format. And okay, so there's balcony too. I have to go back and look at that then. Well, that looks like it's trying to tell me the balcony is full. You see that? Balcony is full. But no tickets underneath that? Somebody out there that lives out there, Regal, LA Live, and 40X. The 3D version, premium format, there's a balcony. This is a huge theater. Why is there 1 ticket sold? Or 2? Second total. Did that just get sold while I was looking at it? Somebody out there, let me know. Somebody that's watching? Yeah. Alright, so let's look at the balcony, because it says reserved balcony. What? Maybe it wasn't saying they were sold. Maybe it's just saying these are tickets and down below that you're not looking at because you're looking in the balcony. It deceived me. So that might be the case. If it's not, somebody let me know what it is, because this is not telling me that any but 2 tickets were sold in that theater, and that is a huge showing there. All right. So anyway, that's the LA Live. Let me go back to July 10th and see. It says there's standard. This is stadium seating, premium. I'm assuming this is the premium large format that was in 3D on that other screen, though. And there's an ice immersive. That's what it said there, anyway. So let's check this out. We're just looking down below. This is the 10th again. There's a few sold. Again, balcony is just showing that there's no seats available because it's the balcony. Now the lower part's going to show full up. Yep, and nothing in the balcony is sold. So plenty of room at this on both Thursday and Friday in LA Live and 40X. So, I mean, please get your tickets, guys. Let's see, theater info. Can we change the theater? More theaters, nearby theaters. Cinemark, Baldwin Hills, Vista Theater. See more theaters. I want to see the AMC. We'll look at AMC. We'll be done for now. If anybody wants to see more, I'll be happy to show you. But let's scroll on down. Should have been able to pick one out, but I didn't slow down enough. Vista Theater. I've heard of the Burbank from several YouTubers that are out that way and say that that's where they go. Some places in Burbank. But anyway, let's go to the theaters. Oh, there we go. AMC Burbank Town Center in that. So let's go see Burbank 16. Skip over to July 10th. And Superman standard reserved seatings up to 15% off. Interesting. AMC Prime. IMAX 3D, and IMAX. So let's look at this IMAX 3D at 2:30. So this is like their opening day. It's pretty much the earliest showing that I saw. Should be sold out. AMC. It's a lot of them. Better than half for sure. 2/3 maybe. But again, plenty of seats left. Okay, that was that. Maybe it's not the oddball at all. So 2 o'clock standards up to 15%. Oh, why is it saying that there? Seemed like it was saying it elsewhere, but let's check this out. Same place. 2/3 sold. 2 o'clock. It's opening day. Now I didn't look at AMC before. I will admit to that. And AMC Prime at 3 o'clock. And let's look at a later showing to see about that. But this is the 3 o'clock one. So right next to the other two that we just looked at. Not too far away from it. Okay, so come on. Opening night IMAX AMC 16. Burbank, California. There's Los Angeles. It's just the Burbank. And that's pretty well sold out. Still got a couple of rows if y'all are really, really interested. But there's a few more seats over here. Um, this is probably not too bad of a seat. This one right here, you're gonna be straining your neck a little bit. I agree. So, um, some of these, um, I think these are seats themselves, and then places for handicap spots. It's kind of interesting that there's not more handicap spots down below. This, but that one is. All right, so let's go to a later showing in the day. That's the fan one, right? All right, so IMAX at 9:15. It'll be a little bit later, uh, showing the filmed for IMAX version. That's pretty good. Pretty well sold out. Got a couple more seats. And again, this is the 10th. And then let's see, 3D at 4:30. I mean, this is not far. That's it. We already saw 3 o'clock one totally open. So open. A couple seats gone. To be fair, a couple seats. 6 seats are gone from the 3D. I mean, go see it. You can't get into the IMAX. Oh, it's almost sold out. All right, go see that one. 7:45. Maybe it's that 4:30 is just weird. Traffic is terrible. I don't know. You tell me. And not sold out. Not at all. You don't like 3D? It's a gimmick? Something like that? Well, tell James Gunn that gimmick needs to go away. And you need to show all our shows in 2D so we can go and see them. Um, laser at AMC, 3:45. I don't know what laser means. Maybe this is not good shooting lasers at you. Um, I don't know. I don't think so. There's a few sold. This just looks suspicious. Why are you buying tickets way down there? You got all of this wide open for you. Because that's the best place to sit. Somewhere in the middle. Um, let's check one more thing if we can. That's 10th. Go to the 11th. So opening night nominally, or opening day nominally, and go to the IMAX 3D one. Because that was pretty well sold out, right? So is this sold out? This is the weekend sold out. The first weekend. That's pretty good, but not sold out. There's still plenty of seats available for you to go and sit. You say, well, I got 5 people who want to sit. Well, sit right in here. You know, sit 2 here, 2 here, and 1 there. You just surround this guy, whoever they are. 3 here, 2 here. You know, you got more than it can handle. I doubt it. I don't think anybody's spending $1,000 to get their entire extended family going to the movie. We got a large friend group. Great. I mean, watch it and then talk to each other afterwards. 20% off, 345. Just looks like a standard showing, I assume. Nowhere near sold out. And this is suspicious. I'm sorry. That's the same thing we saw on a different show. Okay? That's unusual. That's suspicious. Maybe they're ticket holders. They can see them 4 times in the week. And so it's toward the end of the week, and they're going to see all 4 of them at the same time. 245, 3D, real 3D. Yeah, let's look at that. Won't take me too long. Nothing. Nobody. No sales at 245. 3D. Nothing. Yeah, Spanish subtitles there. Dolby. So this is standard with a little better sound, maybe. And just look at it real quick. pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. But there's plenty of seats left. And there's plenty of seats, right next to it, and then the one before and all that. There's still a lot of places. And I'm talking about this is in Los Angeles. Los Angeles and Dallas may be kind of comparable as far as what sales are there. But I still don't see the broken records. I still don't see the sold out everything. I still don't see the justification for that. And bear with me just a second. I'm just going to
Apex GP!
pull this up. Oh, F1 trailer. Okay. Tyrone Magnus is 9 minutes 20 seconds long. You can always play it a little quicker, and it will be done quicker.
Come out with certain news.
There we go. This is where it said Superman tickets are not selling. But, nevertheless, they could be selling in some places. Better than other places. Tell me where you saw yours, and I'll be glad to look around that area. But it's not sold out. So, where are these hyped up ticket sales? That's the question that we're asking. That's what Tyrone Magnus is asking. That's what I'm asking. And is it then going to